Kevin Spacey grew up in California, but in House of Cards, he plays a politician from South Carolina.
As we used to say in Gaffney.
The first thing you'll notice about Spacey's accent when he's playing Frank Underwood is what happens to a lot of his R's.
Money is the McMansion in Sarasota that starts falling apart after 10 years. Power is the...
This is called R dropping, and it's a feature of several well-known dialects.
He were rather the poor were poorer.
The greatest wilderness on earth.
In the tradition of bipartisanship.
Metropolitan Museum of Art.
But it's also associated with the upper class of the plantation South.
This war talk's spoiling all the fun at every party this spring.
R-dropping emerged as kind of an affectation among posh people in southern Britain in the 18th century. The English didn't always talk that way. And then it spread to elites on the east coast of the US. At the same time, R-dropping was a feature of the Creole and West African languages spoken by some of the slaves in the South and their descendants. But after World War II, new generations of white Southerners essentially abandoned R-dropping. So today you'll see it mostly in the very oldest generation, or more frequently with African American speakers from the South. Take Lindsey Graham as an example. Like Kevin Spacey's character, Graham is from the northern part of South Carolina, and his R's are largely intact.
To sell the oil to another customer.
And that may be because language in the southern Appalachian areas was influenced by settlers from Ireland, where people aren't exactly shy with their R's.
Seriously, serious, how close does that sound to the Kentucky accent, where they talk like that and I'm talking like this? You know what I mean?
Regardless, R-dropping probably can't be the shortcut that white actors use to sound Southern in the future. Instead, the main feature that unites Southern dialects is something called I ungliding. For people outside the South, this vowel has two parts. You can probably feel your tongue shifting as you say the word bye. But in Southern speech, I is a one-part vowel in many cases, sounding more like ah than I.
And livelihood.
Terrified.
But there's an important distinction here that Northerners might not be aware of. Most Southerners only do I ungliding before what's called voiced consonants, or at the end of a word. The difference between voiced and voiceless consonants is whether your vocal cords vibrate when you say them. And I ungliding before voiceless consonants is stereotyped in the South as a less educated way of speaking.
But I don't want your life.
I ungliding triggers a shift in the vowels, or in the space in the mouth where the vowels are formed. The A sound shifts lower in the mouth,
and then blame somebody else.
The S sound moves forward to the front of the mouth.
Just as strong and opinionated as men.
As do the vowels pronounced in the back of the mouth like go and boot.
Thank you!
These vowel shifts occur to different degrees in different parts of the South, and they're certainly fading in cities where there's a lot of migration and generational change. But if you're an actor from the North or the West, the vowels are really the key to sounding Southern.